Okay.
So let's go. Let me know if we're still experiencing that vibration. Is it?
No.
Echo?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, good. So, like I said, today we are going to be talking about candlesticks. And Madam Kemi tells us about the buyers and sellers in the markets. Yeah, everybody's correct in their own way. Actually, candles are more like a representation of what is presently happening in the market. So everybody writes. A candlestick represents a graphical presentation. A graphical presentation. A graphical presentation of what is presently happening in the market. A graphical presentation Sis, I'll get back. Sorry, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, call was trying to interrupt. Let me just message this person so I don't get interrupted. So where did we stop?
You said a candlestick. Okay.
Okay, a graphical representation of what is happening in the market. Full stop. Hold on, sorry. Full stop. Now, most importantly, the candlesticks tells us what the current price is in the market, the current price is in the market, the opening price, the closing price, the highest price, and also the lowest price of a particular trading session. Full stop. I mentioned about 5 things there. It tells us the current price. What did I say is the next one?
We're still writing.
Okay, let me know in case you got lost.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, I said most importantly, it tells us about the current price, the opening price, the closing price, the highest price, and the lowest price of a particular trading session. So how many prices did I mention? But I'm coming. You hear? 5, exactly. So just one candlestick.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one candlestick, and I can tell 5 information from just looking at a particular one candlestick. That's how powerful candlestick patterns are in the market. Are we together? Now write this. Notes. In fact, remember anytime we say notes.
Excuse me, ma.
Okay, ma.
Please, ma, I wrote 4 points, ma. Tell us what the current price in the market, the opening price, the closing price, and also the lowest price.
So with that lowest, look at it. What price do you think is missing? If you have lowest, the other you have opening and closing. So fill it, man. The highest price of a particular trading session. First off. Are we there? Let me know if I should.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Madam Kemi.
You can, ma.
Okay.
Yes, ma.
Now I now said notes. Candlesticks alone should never be used to analyze the market. Candlestick alone should never be used in analyzing the market. First off. First off, are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Candlesticks will always let us know the two categories of people we have in the market, comma, and what each of them is presently doing. What each of them is presently doing. First off. Are we done?
Yes, ma.
No. Another note. Notes. Sorry, after the one you just wrote, what each of them is presently doing. In brackets, put buyers and sellers, meaning the candles will let you know what the buyers and sellers are presently doing. Are we there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
Okay. With you just a moment. Okay, so where did I stop? I said notes, right? I was going to say
Yes, ma'am.
note in another note, irrespective of the color of your candles, irrespective of the color of your candle, irrespective of the color of your candle, the opening and the closing price. The opening and the closing price lets you know whether it's a buy candle or it's a sell candle. So, once you're there, let me know.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma.
Okay, now everybody, am I sharing my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm coming. I like that finish so I can explain. Okay, so those things I have on the screen, is it looking like a candlestick? Yes or no? Is it looking like a candle?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma.
Now, the last point we wrote there was that, first of all, we said candlesticks are graphical representation. If you remember in mathematics, we used to have this bar charts, yes or no? Now,
Yes,
have
ma'am.
you noticed your candles look like those bar charts? Is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
Now, what we are simply trying to do is we want to see where the foreign price is. But of course, we can't be drawing lines every time on the screen. So that price movement is what is actually represented by those candles. Now, two things are important, in fact, four things, if not more, about the candlestick. Notice there is the opening price, meaning that was the price for that particular session. By session, I mean whether a 1 hour time frame or 2 hour time frame or 4 hours or daily. Each candles represent a particular time frame. So if we say that session's opening price, we're meaning that time frame's opening price. So let's say this is a 1 hour candle. If it opens here and it closes here, now this body is on the body where you have the opening and the closing price. But before I'll tell you whether this is a buy candle or a sell candle, let me ask you, everyone, who are the people that opens the market at the low and closes at the top, buyers or sellers?
Buyers.
Madam Kemi,
Buyers.
who are the people that open at the low and close at the top? Buyers, right? Because buyers push the prices up. Good. Anytime you have a candlestick that opens below and closes at the top, that's a buy candle. So whether is color blue or color red, all of us, we have different colors. Some people can decide to use, I know most people use green or blue for their buy candles. Like me, you will always find blue there, right? But irrespective of the color, some people use black. Your colors can matter, but what you want to pay attention to can change, rather. What you want to pay attention to is where the candle opened and where it closed. That way, you can determine whether it's a sell candle or it's a buy candle. Now, I want you to picture the candle in your house. If people still use candles. Now, remember your candles also have wicks, that long wool at the top, right? And without that wool, you know that your candle will be useless. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that wool on top of your candle is as important as the body of that candle. Now, the same thing in the Forex market. When you see these things that look like long wools, but this time around we call them wicks, right? On top of a candle. The same way your candle body is important, the wicks are also telling you something about the candles. Now, what I tell people is, you don't want to cram names, right? Of course, when we get to different candle patterns, you're going to see different names. What you want to know when it comes to candlestick pattern is, what is this candle telling me? Can I make a decision based on what I'm saying? What is this candle telling me? That is what matters. So write that in your notes. The wicks are as important as the body of the candle. Write that in your notes. The wicks are important as the body of a candle. The wicks are as important as the body of the candle. First up. So now back to, are we done writing so I can proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So now when I look at a buy candle, the first thing that comes to me is, remember when you go into the market, you want to buy low, is it not? If you have the opportunity to buy, like someone is offering you for 500, 450, you would rather go for the cheapest. When I open a candlestick pattern or to check the time frame of a candle, I want to know what was the lowest price this candle got to during its lifetime. Now, look at this candle open here. Everybody stay with me. You opened on the body. Remember I told you the opening and the closing is on the body. Maybe you need to write that in your notes so you won't forget. The candle opens and closes on the body. The candle opens and closes on the body. You can put that in your notes if you forget. So looking at this candle, I'm not going to cram a name. What I want to look at is, okay, at what price did this candle open? I look at the body here, where the body closed, like where it forms a square below. I trace the price on the chart. Okay, I can see, probably open at 1.5. I now saw that it closed at probably 10 at the top here, the closing of this body. But when I see a wick at the top of this candle, this is what it means. During the lifetime of this candle, the buyers pushed these prices way up, even higher than where it closed. That is what it means. But because the pressure could probably not sustain it at that high, or probably sellers came in and suppressed the buyers. So it eventually, the buyers were pushed down such that their body came to close here. So in other words, that week at the top was like the highest price this candle got to during its session before eventually closing here. So me seeing this week could deduce two things. One is either that at this point the buying pressure reduced and they were suppressed by the sellers. You know, there are only two people in this market, buyers and sellers. So if buyers are trying to put the price up, who are most likely to oppose them? Sellers, is it not?
Yes.
So if I now see a week closing at the top of the head of the buy candle, it's simple. What it means is we pushed it up, but we're pushed back down. Who pushed them back down? Sellers. So I know that at some point at the top, there is selling pressure waiting there. That is what that candle tells me. Another thing is, during the lifetime of this candle, the prices were so low. Remember, it opened here. This is where it opens on the body. But at some point, the prices were pushed down. That's why you have this week below. Now, who are the people who push prices down? Who? Sellers, good. So what it means is when this candle opened here, after it got open, because where it opened is where it started from. But after it opened, at some point, the sellers pushed down, but the buyers were so strong, stronger than the seller, that eventually they were able to move this candle all the way from this opening, from this low, the sellers pushed it up, and then it closed at the top. Looking at this one candle, I could tell that in this particular market, although the sellers were present, but the buyers won that game. True or true, because of where it closed. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
From one candle, I could tell that one, we had buyers, one, we had sellers, but one was stronger than the other. And I could tell that it was the buyers that were stronger, because for the buyers to open here, sellers trying to push it down. That's why we had that week. But buyers rejected it and pushed the price back up and then closed very at the top. As long as the closing price was way higher than where it opened from, the buyers won when it closed at the top. That was what it meant. Even though they still tried to go higher, but then they were still top. But the point was they still closed way higher than where they opened from. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, so
don't go and don't be most people who go about cramming names of candlesticks. What is important is, if I tell you I never cram the name of any candlestick, in fact, it's now that I can remember some of these names. But the truth is, what I want to know is when I see a candlestick, what is this candle telling me about the market presently? What decision can I make in addition to other market structure I've studied to now take a decision? That is what I want to know. Now, remember when we're under the market structure, we marked out zones we want to buy and sell, is it not? When, let's say, for instance, you see an uptrend, and we say, okay, in an uptrend, I want to buy around the support area, is it not? Now, it's one thing to want to buy around the support area, but one of the things that will let you know that, yes, it's high time to buy around the support because there is now buying pressure to push the market up is by the type of candlestick pattern you see around that zone. So gradually, we are going to complete everything it takes to take a trade, and candlesticks is one of those important ones. Are we still together? If you're getting value, put some 7 on the chat box. Put some 7 on the chat box. Great. Now, coming to the sell candle, let me see if anyone can try. What do you think the sell candle is trying to tell you? Somebody should look at it. This one on the right side of the screen. What do you think this candle is trying to tell you? Based on the way I analyze that by, somebody should give it a go. Let's see if you're going to try.
The sell candle.
You said what?
Okay, continue.
No. Anybody can go. Don't worry, try, ma. Ladies first. Mr. Grima, wait.
Okay.
Go, ma.
That the sellers sell candles start from the top down below, but then the buyers are trying to push the market up, but then it closes around that zone where you wrote close.
Okay, so all right, thank you. Great man, tell me what you observed about that second candle. Great man.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What did you
Okay.
observe?
Okay, I want to assume that
Don't
the
assume. Interpret what you're saying. Now, number one thing you don't want to do in the forex market, don't predict. Most people do that. You know, when you mark out your charts, you are predicting it's going to come here, it's going to do. No, don't predict. I trade what I see. Now, what am I saying? What's the trend telling me? What am I saying? What's the candle telling me? So don't assume. Tell me what you're seeing and explain it.
okay, ma. Okay. The candle opened
Good. I
from
love the
the
way.
top.
Great. Uh-huh.
The candle opened from the top, and then sellers were in full control, bringing it down until it got to a new low, like the lowest it could go. And then
Wait,
sellers
don't say the
and
lowest.
buyers came in.
You don't know where that zone was the lowest. Just say it got to a low and buyers came in.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. It got to a low and then buyers came in with pressure, but the pressure was not enough to bring it back up
Okay.
in favor
So
of the
how did you
buyers.
know? What did you see? Hold on, not you. That question is not for you. I'll come back to you. Continue from where you stopped. Madam Kemi,
Okay, ma.
what do you think he saw that made him know that the buyers came into that same market within that time frame on that candle? How did he know buyers came in?
Because of the week
Thank you.
that
Because of the week
closed
below.
yes,
You
ma'am.
answered. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Now, go back to you, Mr. Grayman. So you said, but the pressure was continue from where you stopped.
Okay. The pressure was not enough to bring it back into, like, to bring the candle. This candle is a red candle now.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
yes, looking at it, okay.
I
Since it
didn't put
says
any
it's
red on this screen, so I don't
yes,
know
ma.
where to put it.
Okay.
Madam
Okay.
Kemi, I not seeing blue on your screen. He's assuming a green. I don't assume. Tell me what you see. You are calling red on this screen. We don't forgive you. Madam Kemi, are you seeing red on this screen?
No, ma.
Okay.
No, ma.
Okay.
Good.
The buyers were unable to make the candle close above. So it closed below, leaving it as a bearish candle. So the
Thank you.
sellers were still in control.
Thank you. Now, first, if I agree, man, that was a good job. Now, the
Thank you,
thing
ma.
is, how you know the sellers won? What he's trying to say is the closing price was way below the opening price. Did you get that? The closing, where it closed far below where it opened from the top. So that's how I know this is a sell or a bearish candle, right? And how I know the sellers won this game, even though the wick showed the presence of buying pressure, right? But the sellers still closed way far. Now, let me give you another scenario. Hold on, stay with me, everyone.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
I'm still with you. Sorry, I'm used to being a customer care agent. So if we place customers on hold, we always tell them I'm still with you. That was what I was doing before.
Hey.
Oh God, I've resigned this job over 3 years. Let me tell you a bit of story so the class can be interesting, not just boring. And I've been doing this since 2019. If you learn very well, trust me, you'll be so good you won't need a job. Don't let me use that effort. I was going to
School
say
is the
you're
scam.
not going to use. No, school is not a scam. The world is changing. A poor man is a poor man because he was not aware that things change, the world left him behind. We are in an era of skill sets, trading, coding, anything. It's still in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigeria now, carry certificates. Do you know how many people have the same certificate you're carrying?
Exactly.
The
And they
world
don't
is
teach us how to make money in school.
exactly. They don't teach you. That's the biggest scam.
Uh-huh.
One day I'm going to teach you guys about money. I run some business classes. Your mind will shift small.
I do.
So now look at this candle, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think this is a buy candle? Ignore that sell I put that out for the previous candle. Do you think this is a buy candle or a sell candle? Look at it.
It's a sell candle.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a sell candle. Why did you say it's a sell candle?
Because it opens at the top of the candle and closes down.
All right, thank you. I love that. You open at the top and close below. Nice one. On point. Now, who did you think won the battle in this candlestick pattern? The buyers or the sellers? And you're going to tell me why. Who wants to go first? Just look at that candle and take a guess. Don't tell me what you think or what you expect. Tell me what that candle is telling you.
The seller still won the race.
Sellers won the race, okay? Why did you say sellers won?
Because it is still a bearish candle.
It's still a bearish candle. Okay. Ma'am, do you want to try also?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm about saying that actually the buyers comes into the market, but they still push, they try to push it below, but still it's the market closely, the market is not closing.
Wait, hold it. Let's take it one by one. Buyers will never push prices below. Buyers would always push up. So reconstruct that part back and let's continue. Okay.
Sorry, ma'am. The buyers came into the market and pushed it up.
Okay.
But still, it did not close. The candle did not close at the opening of the candle.
Meaning it did not close above the opening price. So the seller still won.
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. Can I surprise my students? The buyers won this war. Even though this closing price.
Can I guess why?
Okay, guess.
Okay.
I've got to stop guessing. Tell me what you're saying. You're saying you're guessing. Your words are what will become your reality. You won't know when you start guessing. So I'm listening.
The buyers came in and they had good pressure in the market that they pushed the bearish candle. They pushed it almost going above the open of the bearish candle. And once it goes above that, then it turns to a bullish candle. So, but the fact that this market closed with a small body and a longer wick, then it means that, and then the time frame, depending on the time frame, probably the time has already elapsed.
You are going again. Sir, you want to go and zoom another one for me. I'm talking about what you're saying.
This market has closed.
You want to tell me, let's assume it's 4 hours. You are the one assuming now.
Okay, the market has closed. Yes, the market has closed, which means the buyers pushed it to a very significant level before the market closed.
Thank you. Now, this is what I want to tell you. Everybody tried, actually. I could give you 7 over 10. This is it. The wicks represent the pressure from the other side. Anytime you see a wick on a particular candle, just know that pressure is from the other party. So if it's a buy candle and you see a wick, that was selling pressure, right? If it's a sell candle and you see a wick, that's buying pressure. Don't forget what I just said now. It's important because I know you're going to come back when you see a wick on a candle on a daily, and you are waiting for a retest, and I'll tell you that retest already happened. It had gone to each 4, and that how will I know when I see a wick on the candle? Now, what this week is telling me is that this sell, even though it opened here, came this low. Look at the length of this week to where it opened from. Very far, right?
Yes.
But buying pressure came in and pushed the strength of these sellers way back, that they were almost closing very close to their entry. Not that they were almost even, they closed very close to the price they entered from. It's like saying you try to price, you go into a market, right? They offered you 1 million. Or how do I say it now? I'm trying to construct that grammar. You offer to sell your goods. You open at 1 million, right? And your goal was, Father, let this thing drop so much to 100,000 so that you would have made 900. Remember, you are selling, it's different from buying the opposite. 1 million to 100,000. But somebody now came, pushed all the way back from that your 100,000 that would have been better for you, and came to close at 800. 800 was close to your 1 million where you started from. Who won? You or that person? Who won? You or that person? The person pushed you back to 800, all the way from 100,000. Your own goal was to stop at 100,000, all the way from 1 million. Who won? You or that person that pushed you back to 800? Are we still together?
The person. Yes, ma.
Everywhere went silent.
The person won. I didn't know this thing was.
I was like the person.
Wait, let me take that thing again. Follow me. Man, don't tell me what you think first. Follow me. Your goal is to run from 100. You're starting from 100, and your destination is to get to pole 1. Let's not use that money because that one is confusing. You want to land in pole 1 all the way from 100. When you now go to 1, that could have been your finishing line. Probably you were fighting or whatever. The person now pushed you back to where you are coming from. That's the key word. Because closing close to where you opened from is like pushing you back to where you're coming from. Very close to where you're coming from. So the person now pushed you back. Your goal was to go to 1 because 1 would have been better. Remember, when you sell, you want to go lower. The person now pushed you all the way from 1 and pushed you back to 80. 80 is very close to your 100 where you started from. Did you win that match or did that person win?
That person
the
won.
Person. You said 800 the other time. That was why it was confused.
I didn't hear
you. Said 800. You said 800 the other time. That was why.
Okay, because I said that one on 1 million now. So 800 to 1 million. But now, at least with this one I use now, the person won, right? Because it's like pushing you back close to where you started from. And he had more gap. Good. That week now is like buyers pushing the sellers back very close to where they started from. And they had more week. The week was longer than the body. In fact, if you look very well, you remove ×2 of this body at least from this week. Yes or no? This shape, this point, you're almost good. At this point, when the week is longer than the body, in this case, I won't be surprised that this market pick a reversal and start pushing up because it showed us that buying pressure was so strong that the sellers were repelled back so much. So whether this candle was a red candle, let's say like my Mr. Grayman would assume that, it's a red candle. But let's say whatever color your sell candle was looking like, even if this little body had that color of the sell candle, as long as that wick was at least twice the body of your candle, the other party won, not you. Do we understand? That is why I said the most important thing when you look at a candle is not the name, but you being able to tell, what's this candle telling me? This candle told me the highest points, the lowest points, the opening price, and the closing price of this particular time frame. Whether it's 4 hours, like Grandma wanted to assume, or 1 hour or daily, but this particular candle session, it opened high, came very low, but they were rejected back, prices were rejected back up, pushed back up, and then it closed very close to where it opened from. So that is what a candlestick should be able to tell you at a glance. Is it making any sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me now ask somebody. Okay, hold on. I want to put this. I want to be sure we really understand. Let me, point A, let's say this is point A. Point B. Point C. That B didn't show. Okay. Can we see where C is on the screen? Even if it was close to. You can say I put that C below, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you see where B also is? Let me remember. Good. I've renumbered the A. Let me put A here. So it's obvious. Now let me ask you a question. Remember I told you a candle is going to tell you the lowest price, the highest price, and the closing and opening price. Everybody
Yes,
representing with
ma.
ABC. What was the lowest price of this particular candle session? A, B, or C? What was the lowest price?
C.
C. Madam Kemi, do you agree?
No idea.
No idea how. When a cell goes down, that's low now, is it not?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
And the week showed where it got so low. So how can you say no idea?
Yes,
Even the candle I drew before, I showed you the eye. This first candle, you say the highest point was where the wick got to at the top. The lowest point was below. Then the body and the closing, the opening and close. So yeah, you have the opening price, closing price. What was the lowest price? Is it at point C, point B, or point A? Now the answer, ma.
Point C, ma.
Good. In my class, there's nothing like no idea. You'll find the idea by force. Good. Now, point C was the lowest. Why? Because that was the low that candle got to. You're correct. Showed by that week. And that was why I explained that the week would appear, showing you that even though they got this low, they were pushed back up. So that was the lowest point. Now, let me ask you, where was the opening price? Point A, point B, point C.
Point A.
Great man, do you agree with that? The opening price was at point A.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What was the highest price of this session? Point A, point B, point C. Everywhere is quiet again, don't worry. What was it? See, it's simple. Just ask yourself.
Point A, ma.
Yes.
Point A. Point A.
Okay. What did Greenman say?
Yes, ma'am. Point A.
Why?
Because the market did not go anywhere above that length.
Good. So that was the highest price. So even if there was no wick at the top, because this candle started from this eye, opened here, and there was no longer wick, that was the highest price it was sold from. Do you get? In this case, you know,
Yes,
it's a candle. So this was the highest price this market got sold for, and then it came this low. But eventually, it settled for this price as at the time it was closing. Are we together?
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma.
I'm going to give you another example. You're going to tell me. This,
Maybe example from charts.
no, don't worry. When it's time to go to class, we'll go there.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. Oh, God. I'm coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't mind my candle drawing.
It's normal for women.
It's about women. Can you imagine? Hey, what am I feminine? Women are hands are not always straight. What told your teacher's hand is not straight. Then I'm coming. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, let's go. So everybody look at what I just drew. You're going to tell me whether that's a buy candle or a sell candle. That's going to be Madam Fulu's job. No, that's going to be Green Man's job. Then, Madam Kemi, you're going to tell me the lowest points of this candle, the highest points of this candle, and then you're also going to tell me the opening price of this candle. Did you hear what I said? You're going to tell me the lowest price of this candle, the opening price of this candle, and then the highest price of this candle. Those prices are what I represented by those B, D, and C. Do you understand? So let's start with Gray Man. Do we have a buy candle or you have a sell candle?
We have a buy candle, ma.
Why? Because you saw color blue. I know to
No. Because the market opened below and closed above.
So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Madam Kemi, your part. So Gray Man said this is a buy candle. Do you agree with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what was the lowest price you had at this session, this trading session for this candle? Was it the point D, point C, point B? Which of the point was the lowest price?
Point B, ma'am.
Point.
Open price, ma'am.
I said the lowest price.
Lowest price, that's point B.
B, okay, thank you. German, is she correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the opening price, ma?
Opening price, point B, ma'am.
Okay, so the opening price was the same as the lowest price available for this session. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. What was the highest price?
Point C, ma'am.
Highest point C. Okay, good. And then where did the market later close at?
Point D.
Okay, now I know you people understand what we are saying. So that is how you determine the importance of a candle. Now, let me ask you, Grayman, who do you think won this battle? First of all, do you think the sellers came into this market at any point in time at all? Do you think there was selling pressure? Why?
Due to the week above.
Week. Okay, good. Is it correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. But also note that week could also mean that buyers lost their strength. Do you get? You know what makes prices push up is the pressure. So if suddenly buyers get weak, they might not be able to sustain that price at the top. The more you have many buyers at a particular zone, if everybody's buying something, it's just like everybody's trying to eat the house at the same time. Everybody's trying to push through the door. 100 people at the door. The probability of that door collapsing and everybody entering with force is higher than when one person is trying to push the door. True or true? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you see a candle with strong momentum, like the body goes very fast or very big, it tells you there was plenty of buying pressure. In most cases, start paying attention to where you see such candles in the market. Is always around the strong zone. That's like those zones are stronger than each other, right? We'll still get there when we get to fifth. So, but when I now see weak after they've gone up, it could also mean that, man, probably some people were taking profit and exiting. They were approaching, people were taking their profit. Most people are going out. Number of buyers are reducing, is it not? If you close a trade, let's say you were buying, 1 million people were buying. If 500,000 people close the buy trade and exit and took their profit out, what happened? Buying pressure in the market will reduce, is it not? I'm not talking about 1 million retail traders that came with $100. If you, all of you, like, close your trade. If one banker came in with 1 billion, whether all of you exited or not, they wouldn't even be aware, right? So now the same thing with this kind. So if all the buyers start exiting also, you would also see a week. So it doesn't necessarily mean it was the sellers, right? But it tells you that buying strength is reducing. Now, as a businessman, if the word is going away from where everybody was facing, what are you supposed to do? You start leaving because anything can happen, right?
Yes.
Because when they suddenly start getting weak and you start seeing wicks at the top, if the sellers were smart and they were in place, which most likely they will be in place, because when the buyers are exiting, what do? They sell. Are you getting the analogy? If you were buying and you wanted to take profit, that point you're closing the trade is as if you're selling, you're exiting that previous buy.
Yes.
Good. So if you want, it's just like you bought the land. If you want to make profit, the day you want to make profit, what happens? You sell off, is it not? And what are you doing when you sell? You're selling at an high price so that you can exit your profit. So most likely selling pressure would also come in. Now, when you now see that weak, buyers are already weak. You too, if you've been chasing a trend, at that point, you should apply C caution and also start getting ready to exit that kind of move. Are we together? So is it making
Yes,
sense? So the most important thing in candlesticks, like I said, is not the name, but to understand the idea behind that candle pattern formation. So that would be all for today. Mr. Grayman, I wanted to go on the chat is when we start dealing with types of candle. You are now going to go on the chat. But before we go, write this down
Yes,
against the next class so that we'll treat them.
okay.
Next class, common candle patterns. Common candle patterns. Number one, the engulfing pattern. The engulfing pattern. Engulfing pattern.
Okay.
In front of the engulfing, put both bullish and bearish engulfing, meaning it's not just under the engulfing. It could be a bullish engulfing, that's for a buy, or a bearish engulfing. That's what I meant. That's for the engulfing pattern. Number two, we have the doji pattern. Doji pattern. In front of that doji, put bearish doji also and bullish doji. Although we have normal doji, that doji now, we have normal doji, we have bearish doji, we have the bullish doji. We'll talk about them too. I've already written that down.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we have the pin bar. Oh, pin bar. I don't joke with this, and you know why when we get there. The pin bar pattern. Now
The
in
class
front
is
of
tomorrow.
I don't know. How can your class be tomorrow? I have some other sets tomorrow. I know you can't wait. The pin bar, or is also called the hammer. The pin bar or the hammer. In front of this one, right? High probability setup. You saw the way I shouted it. High probability setup. And it's only the high probability. High probability setup. Yes.
Okay.
We also have some other patterns, even though I don't trade some of those ones, but I try to limit it to what I see that works very well over time. Number four, we have the morning star pattern. Morning star. Have you written that?
Yes.
We have the evening star. You know, when you have morning, you have to have evening.
Yes.
You have the tweezer bottom and tweezer top. Those ones you have other patterns. Tweezers, yes. TWEEZER. Tweezer bottom and tweezer tops. But the truth is, do I trade all those patterns? No. I like to go for what works. Remember at the beginning, I told you that I've written all of that.
Yes, ma'am.
I told you at the beginning that in trading, when you want to trade, nothing is guaranteed. Hope you know. Hope you still remember. But you always want to increase the chance in your favor by combining one or two, three things. If three things are saying the same thing, just like I use that analogy then that if you wanted to come to my house for the first time and you don't know the road, if you ask three persons and they all point in the same direction, even though they all could be wrong, right? But you yourself, you were wrong, you didn't know. That's why you asked. But by all of them saying the same thing, you've increased your chance of being right. Now, when it comes to trading, you don't take one decision based on just one factor alone. No. There is a reason why we'll tell you, oh, go to the higher time frame. Start there first so that you see the broader view. Oh, what is the market structure saying? Is everything aligning? Oh, what is the where is the zone? Oh, what is the candlesticks? If all of them are saying the same thing, there's a higher probability that that trade will go your way. So the same thing for patterns. So there are some patterns that over time tested, they always play out more often than some. Is every pattern correct? No. Some of those patterns will still fail you. It's normal because you can't always win every time in the market, but you want to increase your chance of, the trade going your way. Now, the most important thing, lest I forget, notes. I told you before to write your notes, but in case you missed it, let me repeat myself. I know someone like Grayman now will go on the chat. Anytime he sees me, it will be like, Coach G says, anytime there is weak, there is opposing pressure. Let me get out. Oh, let me do this. No, you should never trade a candlestick pattern alone. If you do that, trust me, you're going to blow your account in no time. Candlestick is just one of the many things. It's called price action. You combine with other factors in the market. Did we make sense today? Yes or no? So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you an assignment before next class. I'll send you a material. You are going to go and read about some of those candle patterns. The next class,
I have a question, ma.
into it. Okay?
Me too.
Let's have it. You too.
Okay, ma.
Okay, let's have a question.
BTC, when after marking a chart on a daily
Let me stop recording.
Okay.